the moniker for you guys, I guess the tagline is "Don't judge a book by its cover."
That was our old tagline.
Okay.
Our new tagline is "Unjudge someone."
Unjudge someone.
Because we've come to terms with the fact that "Don't judge a book by its cover" is a great saying.
Right.
It has a great image language for you. It draws people into the world of books and living literature, and it's very closely connected with books. Mm-hmm. But it's not a truth for us any longer.
Yeah. So unjudge someone.
That's our new truth, is that we all judge. So to say "don't judge," that's rubbish.
Right.
Because how can I tell you not to do something that's in your nature? You can't change your nature.
That demonizing the other.
Yeah, and it's demonizing us for judging.
Defaulting.
No, look, I'm judging you, and what you should be is be ready to unjudge.
Right.
Yeah, to revisit your judgments.
And then so through that though, I mean, so say I want to unjudge someone or challenge my own stereotypes, and so I come to the event tomorrow. What is kind of what am I in store for? So I say I want to learn about a refugee, for instance, and so take us through the process of just
becoming a reader.
Yeah, yes.
Well, we invite people to become readers. We have rules in our library, like real libraries have. Bring the book back in the same condition. Bring it back on time. Don't take it home. Yeah. Those are like the key rules to it. Treat it with the same respect you want to be treated. And then you walk up to the desk, you get this introduction to the library, you meet the librarian, and they'll guide you through the literature that we have available today.
Yep.
All the topics and some of their experiences will be available to you. Mm-hmm. You make up your mind. You might know from home you want this topic, but in reality, when you see the collection, you might feel in your stomach that you should actually go for something else.
Sure.
So it's good to have a look, even though you might know what you want. Have a look at the others too.
Sure.
And then once your topic is available, we match you with your book. Yeah?
Perfect.
And so you go somewhere and you sit, and then you'll have a reading, as we call it. A reading is really a conversation where one person volunteered to be an open book and share their experiences, and it's up to you as a reader to engage in sort of the Q&A.
Yes.
To get those questions in there, because if you don't, the conversation might just dry out.
Right, and it's really up to you to dictate how much you want from this experience.
No two conversations will be the same.
Absolutely.
They depend on your courage,
yes,
your curiosity, and your ability to take responsibility for your own biases.
Sure.
Because we all have them.
Oh, yeah.
Some are conscious, some are unconscious. Some of us like to be aware of it. Some of us don't like to be confronted with the fact. It happens to me. Yeah. I walk in somewhere, I see somebody, and I feel a reaction, and I'm like,
this again.
I just judged that person. We've got a judge box up there in the office. Like every time we make a condemnation or we by accident judge someone, we have to put something in that box, and
that's
we're
awesome.
Drinking all the money up end of the year.
And so two of the big things that you mentioned is that this is a safe framework. Yep. So again, that this is safe, but then also the big proponent that you put in is also the reading or the dialogue that comes in that. So for that, what could be say someone can't come to what would you say to other people that maybe can't come to a reading or something like that to then unjudge someone? Is it just increased dialogue with whoever you can in the streets? Because
I'm not the one to tell you to walk up to a stranger that looks different,
of course,
and then start asking questions, because one person might respond very positively to that, and another person would be offended.
Sure.
So let your social norms judge what you feel comfortable doing. Mm-hmm. But as a principle, I believe keeping an open mind towards the people that look different from us until we get to know them is healthy.
Yes.
Healthy for our also ability to gain new relations and perhaps take advantage of opportunities that these people represent to us.
Oh, the
but that we
serendipitous
cut ourselves,
moment of things.
we cut ourselves off from, because hey, I'm not going to be your friend. All right, well then I'm not going to that party that you're hosting.
Right.
And I'm not going to meet those people.
And you can lose out on whatever type of life experiences that could do. Yes.
So don't cut yourself off
by
cutting others off. People think I'm cutting those off. No, you're not. You're cutting yourself off. You
right.
fool.
Yes.
You chump. What's going on? Think about that. But
Well, that's one of my posts that I did recently was zero sum versus non-zero sum.
Yeah.
And it's like, zero sum is very thinking about, we are in a one-to-one, like I'm losing and you're gaining. But then in a non-zero sum, it's like I gain things from just your experiences and everything about that in that relationship.
Well, and that's what the human library is.
Yes.
That is a win-win-win.
Yes.
Because if you look at it, books meet readers, readers gain insight, they feel they better understand some of these groups in the community, they win. Books get understood by the groups and other people in the community, they win.
And society in general.
Society wins as a whole, and books get to know a lot of other books.
Yes, yes.
Just because you're Jewish, or just because you're Muslim, or just because you're trans, or disabled, or refugee, or police officer, doesn't mean that you're tolerant of all other kinds of groups, or
of course.
that you're understanding and accepting.
And the Human Library Organization, this is not just going to be used in events per se and doing these readings, but also you guys have started partnering with diversity, equity, and inclusion training in the workplace. So maybe briefly talk about how that's kind of a big deal in society now moving forward, and then how a Human Library kind of makes that bridge, if you will.
So in 2013, we created the Human Library Book Depots to get more traction, make events easily accessible, less cost, less time consuming to prepare, and to be able to recycle all these great people that we were publishing. Why publish them only once?
Yeah, one-time shot. No.
It's foolish. They have a lifetime of experience, many of them. We can't just do that in one day.
Sure.
And so after making that work and seeing that embedded on different continents, our model, we decided, look, we're going to need some resources to sustain all these book depots. We're going to need some money. And we were never good at raising money in the sense of asking others for money. We were better at making our own money. And so we developed a corporate model out of need, actually, but also out of the idea that if we could get decision makers to better understand these groups, to better include these groups, then we're really getting somewhere. Because we're talking employment, labor market,
managers,
housing,
directors, everything.
So we developed a corporate model called the Human Library Reading Hall, which is a typical format for handling large groups of readers. And it's used as part of that equity and diversity training at the IMF, at the World Bank, Heineken, eBay, Microsoft.
Some of the biggest companies in the world.
Some of the biggest brands in the world have reached out to us and said, we've heard about this that you're doing. Can you help us? And of course, we'd like to help. That's also a way to generate resources for the work. So we're building a new book depot in New York, we're building in Indianapolis, we're building in Los Angeles, and we're building with funds we generate from partnering with corporates.
And then how's that experience been? Obviously, I'm assuming there was probably some growing pains and such, but now in 2019, 5 years after,
well, it's been very rewarding. It's been incredibly rewarding.
That's awesome.
It's been to see the head of HR of a company like Daimler, that's 90,000 people, coming over and saying, wow, I learned something today. To meet the head of the CEO of eBay, and he comes over and says, wow, thank you for coming out. To meet the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, and see our platform helping them. Helping them create a more inclusive workplace, more inclusive world. It's like I said,
work's such
I'm a rich man on people and experiences.
Yeah, and then as well, like not just we're talking about that non-zero sum. That if it's in the workplace and work is such a big part of our life, that's only going to translate into the broader society and culture.
So we're winning and winning and winning, and I've seen nobody lose as of yet. 19 years into the game.
That's good.
Not a day with anybody losing on the Human Library.